Hey guys, it's me, 8-Bit Boy, and today we're going to discuss a beginner's guide to collecting for the Sega Master System. I've recently had some comments on YouTube, and one or two people reach out on Twitter as well, but mainly on YouTube. People new to the channel that don't really know that much about the system, so I decided to put together a bit of a beginner's guide to collecting if somebody were to start from scratch from 2022. I'm sure with it being Christmas around this time of year, back in the late 80s, early 90s, there were quite a few of us that would have, given our left arm to get our hands on a Master System back in the day, a bit like myself. So I thought I'd put together a quick video of 5 games that you can pick up to start a collection that are absolute essentials. If you're like me and you buy to play, then these are 5 games, all of them under a tenner each, that I would strongly recommend you start out with. And also, I'm just going to talk through, just quickly, a little bit about some of the hardware as well. Before I do, just a couple of comments. It'd be great for one or two of the more experienced guys that watch the channel to maybe do a video response and link me in. Maybe they've got their own ideas as to what the first 5 games should be for a collector to pick up for a bit of a novice that's just sort of starting their journey. Like I say, the criteria, £10 or under for the 5 games. Anyway, with that said, let's get started. So to start off with, you're going to have to make a decision on your hardware, and you're either going to be faced with picking up either the Model 1 or the Master System 2. I'd strongly recommend you go for the Model 1. It's a lot more, it's easier to set up and more compatible with the composite, I'll show you on the back actually. There. And that will plug into an AV port on your TV. Even if I use it on a 4K telly for my things like my Master System challenges, I find it much easier. This is the actual system I had. It was this exact console I had on my 11th birthday. So it's in good nick. It works great. It's had a bit of repair done to it just this year, but yeah, working fantastic. However, you will find on Gumtree, on eBay, lots of deals for the Master System 2, and a lot of people had this one. The top, which I always really liked, the top does open up, and the other really good thing, you will have probably Alex Kidd built in to this, so you kind of get 6 for the price of 5, if we're following the criteria of this video. So it is a good one. The only thing you have to watch is it's only got the RF. Now, these can be modded. I wouldn't recommend going down that route for beginners, but it's an RF cable, and that tuning in an analog signal into our new modern digital 4K TVs can be tricky. It's not without its difficulty. Now, I'm fortunate. I've got a couple of old CRT TVs as well. Anyway, you can pick those up. I picked mine up for nothing, so if you're patient, you can pick up CRT TVs very, very cheap. But yeah, the only thing you would have to watch is tuning this into a digital TV. It's an analog signal. Not all of them can do it, but if you can, like I say, you will get probably Alex Kidd built in. So just worth bearing in mind. Now, on to the 5 games. So I've picked 5 of my favourites. A couple have been on the Master System Challenge as well, and that's how I sort of discovered them. So not all of these were games that I had back in the day. In fact, I'd go so far as to say is I probably didn't have that many when I was a kid. None of us had huge collections like we do now. Now we've got like a surplus of disposable income and whatnot. So anyway, these are my top 5. So the first one is Enduro Racer. This is a fantastic port, in my opinion, of a really, really good arcade game, but it's nothing like the arcade game. That said, in my humble opinion, and it's only my opinion, please don't shoot me down, this is a fantastic independent game, and I would go so far as to say, graphically no, but gameplay wise, I actually prefer this to the arcade. So that's just me. It is a fantastic game, and on the back you can kind of see a couple of stills on there as to what the game is about. Yeah, the little bike dude, you have to get through the course, go over jumps, and there are certain tricks to it, which I won't go into. There are certain tricks that you can get better at, go over the jumps better, to land better, to get faster, and you can upgrade your bike as you go in between the levels. Just a great game and stupidly addictive, and you can pick this up on eBay or anywhere for between £5 and £10, probably complete in box. So it's a great game and under a tenner. So the next game, another one that we featured on the Master System Challenge, is the Ninja. Another one that I didn't have as a kid, so I only picked this up later on, and I really enjoyed this game. It's quite tough, but it's one of those that can get really addictive, and it's got some hidden things in it, the scrolls that you have to unlock to get the true ending. A really good game. It's almost like an open worldy exploration focused game with a lot of action tied in to boot, to kill all the other ninjas and whatnot. A really great game, and one, I'll just show you some of the stills on the back. It's like a top down, if you will, and again, very addictive. You can pick this up, I would probably say, for less than Enduro Racer. You might pick this up 5, 6, 7 quid maybe. I think I saw a copy not that long ago for 2 or 3 quid at a games fair. A great game. So the next one is Double Dragon, another one that we've had on the challenge. It's a very well-known franchise, Double Dragon, and the Master System port was a fantastic game. It's a beat 'em up. It's also a 2-player, so if you do pick up a system with an extra controller or whatever, or you find that Master System in the loft, you've got 2 controllers, you can play with somebody else. In my opinion, you don't need to. You can just play on your own, and it's still a fantastic game today. It's very arcadey and just a heck of a lot of fun. It's quite, I wouldn't say easy to complete, but it's not impossible to complete either, if you use the continues and whatnot. And again, there's just some stills from the back to give you an idea of what you're getting. Again, Double Dragon, under a tenner, an absolute bargain. So perhaps one of the best known franchises from Sega is Sonic the Hedgehog. I picked mine up, as you can see, £6 from Andy up at Lee's Games in Morecambe. Sonic is a very well-known franchise, as I say. Now again, in my opinion, for what it's worth, I actually prefer the Master System outing of Sonic over the Mega Drive version. I've played the Mega Drive version a lot. I've played this one a heck of a lot more. And it's just a fantastic game. I'll show you the back if you... I'm sure everyone will be familiar with Sonic and what it's about. It's a slightly slower game and more probably platform focused on the Master System. And I think it plays really, really well. So Sonic on the Master System, 6 quid I picked mine up for not that long ago, in the last few months. So yeah, a no-brainer, a real gem of a game. And then finally, my last game for my 5 that I would recommend to a beginner collector, a novice collector starting out on the Master System collection journey, would be Outrun. It's quite tough to complete, but it really does hold up so well against a lot of the other ports. And I don't know many bad ports of the game. Maybe some of the microcomputers were not fantastic. maybe the Spectrum, maybe. But yeah, the Master System version holds up fantastically well. I have finished this game just this year, so it's you know, it can be done, but it is quite tough going. Under a tenner, and it looks absolutely superb on the Master System. Its replayability, and it can, just like the others, can get really addictive, and it is a heck of a lot of fun. So there you are, guys. Those are my top 5. There is one other game that I wanted to show, so I'm going to cheat a little bit and have one bonus title that, if you were to spend a tiny bit more than a tenner, and again, if people do want to do a VR to this, then do include one extra game. Maybe nothing like Masters of Combat or you know, Buggy Run. They're going to cost you well north of £200 each. But if I was to include one extra game that's just over the £10 mark, probably I would say between £12 and £15, and that would be R-Type. It's an absolute classic shooter, and on the Master System, it holds up really well even today. It is a real showcase of what the Master System was capable of back in the day and now. And it's a fantastic game, very addictive, lots of fun, quite tough, so you're not going to finish it anytime soon. But graphically and visually, a real striking and beautiful game. So R-Type as my curveball for you. Again, pick a copy up, 15 quid. You can pay a bit more if you want to get one with the you know, with the manual, and if you were rushing to get one on eBay and want to, probably be a tiny bit more. But yeah, I picked mine up for about 12 or 15 quid. Guys, there you have it. Thank you ever so much for watching. Those are my top 5 plus one bonus game of what games to start with if you're just starting your Master System journey. I know there are a few guys in the comments that are fairly new to the channel, that don't know and don't own you know, the Master System as well as some of us that watch. But yeah, if you were to go down the journey, and I recommend that you do, that's where I would start out for sure. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, and consider subscribing. I put content out usually focused around the Master System every single week. Again, thank you ever so much for watching, guys. Have a Merry Christmas, and I will see you on the next one. Cheerio.